my younger brother and I, we ran off the hill towards where my parents were. We ran halfway there, and we met my father and mother and sister, and they were coming towards us. And I said to my dad, "Father, the whole village is gone. I don't know what to do." And my dad rushed us and said, "Hurry, we must follow them." There was no plan. It was like spontaneous, because you're not supposed to plan, right? If they find out you're going to move, they're going to kill everybody, right? So the whole village has to empty or fled on a moment's notice. So my dad rushed us back, and we packed everything. And that is, besides the first one that we fled, this is the second time we fled. And so we packed everything. My father got and my mother got all their food for us on the road so we can go, follow them. And this is what I remember the most about the trail of the refugee. At first, you can see this big open trail in the woods.
So you know that everybody has gone
that
way.
Yeah, you can see the big giant open field because everybody goes in, usually trail are really small. But this is a big open trail because they take with them cattle, goat, all their livestock, the pig, wherever they can on leash, and carry as much as they can. Take all their elderly, their grandmother, grandfather with them, their children. So this big open road you can see cut through the hill, which is not normal for me. I never seen the big open cut and open to the hill. So we followed that trail. And the whole day towards the evening, I don't know we catch up to them or not, but I think we caught up to them. I think the whole village was very empty during the night. And I woke up in the morning. My dad and them had left the night before to go to the other village, you see. So when we woke up, the whole village is already gone. And they have all these clearing in the mountain, the road. So we know they're already empty before we know that they were empty during our sleep, let's say. So my father and we followed the trail. And I think my story becomes more clear because we're the last. We see the remains of what was left behind. As we follow the trail, the first thing we notice after a couple hours of travel is heavy luggage, heavy clothes, heavy items discarded along the road. It's just like people's monk clothes. They just throw away in the road somewhere and up in the woods. Couple of days towards the evening, we see some old goat, some cow, lonely up in the hill and the mountain somewhere, in the trail, along the trail. The cow mooing somewhere, and the hog, pig, winking their tail somewhere. So it's like a strange sight. And then the next day, that night, we just slept along the road, huddled up, and then we woke up the next day and continued walking. There are hills and valleys, so we walk slow, but they probably empty a night or so before we went, right? So we had to follow them like a day or a night later, right? Then morning after, we see some old adults, some old grandma and grandpa left on the road, crying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, whether I should remain here or go back. They were in tears and sadness. The whole family left, abandoned them up in the wood. So my parents pretend not to see them. We just breeze and pass on, continue on the path. It goes like that for many days until we catch them up. We catch up to them. After weeks, over a month, we start to see a lot of changes. People ran out of food. There's no way to forage for food. And I think there was a time when we were scared that the soldier were after us. And so we call that the soldier scare. And if we have any person that warns us that the soldiers are coming, everybody scatter like crazy, like animals scattering everywhere. Just find safety somewhere in the wood. And so we had this false warning one time. And like the Vietnamese soldiers are here. And everybody run. And I ran. And I just remember running. I don't remember where. Just running somewhere. So when I ran up the hill, I felt like something knocked me in the face, like a big gun smacked me in the face, because I'm just running with people running alongside of me, right? After a quick scare, like maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, everybody called, oh, settle down. It's false alarm. Nobody is here. And I felt my whole, it wasn't a jungle. It was more like bamboo country. I felt like my nose was like watery. I felt it, and it was blood. So I finally found my father and my mother. They all huddled back, and she said, what happened to you? And I said, I don't remember. I think one of the uncle's gun smacked me in the face, when we were running. So I just remember that.
Yeah. Did everybody try to be quiet? Like, who was leading the group? Like,
they're quiet, as quiet as they can, but baby, they have little infant too. They can't remain quiet. So I don't want to talk about that, because I don't want to know about Hmong people, what they do to their young children. But many young Hmong people use opium to sedate their kid. I don't think my parents ever did that to us, because we're old enough, we weren't babies, so that didn't happen to us. But I heard a lot of young baby die of overdose, because the parent decided to quiet them down, to sedate them with opium, overdid it, and so the baby was succumbed or overwhelmed by the opium poisoning, and they die. They pass away like that too. So again, on that fleeing that trail, after several weeks, we ran out of food too. And I remember this man, he skipped with the cane, with one of the supporting stem on his side. And he skipped to my dad, and he asked my father for food. Yeah. Open hand, a poem I wrote in there. And my father, seeing all of us, what we don't have, he only have a little bag of rice like this left on his basket. But he didn't want to tell him that he had that. So he secretly said, oh, 진짜 고무시들었구나. 저하고 주무하지 해. 또 배열지 너 하동노태야. So my father said to the man that is on a limp, younger brother, I will not be able to give anything to you. And I don't have any. And I don't think that whatever it is, I don't think we will be able to escape this wood too. That man there, I can see his eye just lower down and just cries and moves on. Many more days later, many more weeks later, I see this man that's very old. He's laying there on the side of the road, and he's still breathing, but his bone shows a lot. His eyes still open, and there's some flies flying over his face. He wants to speak, but I tell he cannot speak. So I was a little kid, and I was trying to pass him, but I keep looking at him, because I feel like I want to speak to him. I want to say something kind to him, like my grandfather. He just looked at me, and I look at him in his eye, and I see ants going in his mouth, flying his eye, and he's blinking a little on and off. No strength left in his body. So he was another old man along the road. Yeah, so we just keep pushing on. And then I think a month passed by. We're all really hungry.
Yeah. So, do you remember, where did you think you guys were going? Like, did your parents say that we are going, like where were you going?
They don't know. The truth is they don't know. That's why we're lost in the wood, in the jungle. So I think we were so hungry that my mother went out and dug some roots. Those are toxic roots. But you had to pound them so much so you can squeeze out all the juice that are poisonous and take the fiber only, the mulch that is left after you wash it so many times. And we ate those after no rice, after nothing left. Those are just fiber and just leftover hard, I don't know, it doesn't taste anything. It tastes like sand more like it, but it's just something chewable, like something you can chew but you can't really swallow because it's so dry. And we ate those, and the hard thing about it is you're so hungry you want to eat anything. The more we consume those, the more it make for us we have constipation. It's very hard to poop, and that's the hard trouble with eating only just the fiber part of it, nothing else, just the roots. Again, we don't have time to spend time going look for things because that would leave women and children exposed, right? So the men are off somewhere. Usually just the woman and the children are behind on the trail, along the trail. Men are able, they move up ahead, they do something else because they're carrying gun too.